Beautifully said. 9/11 was meant by the scientific dictatorship, the controllers, in their own documents. They talk about how they would stage massive terror attacks to get total power. It was meant to be the event to set up a planetary police state. I believe 9/11 is going to end up, and also these premeditated, offensive crimes against humanity, these offensive, preemptive wars. I believe it's going to be their Waterloo, Charlie.
I hope you're right, Alex. I hope you're right. I mean, this stuff happens in broad daylight, and that's the arrogance. That's the pathology that we're dealing with here, and we just need to keep asking the hard questions, keep insisting that people don't allow ourselves to be dismissed, just pushed over there. And I think it's like what Aaron Russo said so wonderfully in his final interview in that wonderful documentary that you put together with him. He says, don't be afraid to be called stupid. Don't be afraid to be called crazy. Don't be afraid to have a voice. Don't be afraid to stand up and say, wait a minute, people, this doesn't make any sense. And I'm insisting that somebody look at this. Somebody that has the power to make a change needs to look at this. Enough.
Well, Charlie Sheen, your courage is an example to all of us. A man who is the highest paid TV actor out there, 5 children, a great life, and takes a lot of risk. And I know this has been good for your soul, as you've said many times to me, food for the soul, but at the same time, very stressful. And if we all lead by your example, we're going to be in a better world, because great tyranny is upon us, and people better get involved. We're being lied to about the banking takeover, the $23.7 trillion. I know you'd also said that the Obama deception, you'd supported Obama, really also helped crystallize that why isn't he calling for a new investigation? What was your take on the Obama deception?
I thought it was a masterpiece, Alex. Really, I think it should be mandatory viewing for anybody in this country, especially those who voted for him like myself, and anybody else on the planet that wants the truth about what's really going on. And I would urge people to get it, make copies, hand it out, promote it, insist, organize groups to watch it, hold screenings. I think it is along with Endgame, it is one of the most important documentaries ever produced. And I tip my hat to you for having the courage to deliver such an important historical piece. I'm just just proud to know you, man.
Hey, I'm proud to
call you my friend.
Hey, I'm proud to call you my friend. We didn't go over all the 20 points that are in your letter.
You know what? They speak for themselves. And the mainstream media ain't going over the 20 points either. And what does that say? What does that say, Alex? They won't even talk about them. If I'm so crazy, if I've aligned myself with so many nutbags, and how dare I'm so unpatriotic, and I'm such a complete nut job, why won't they address what I wrote? Why won't they address what we assembled? Why won't they even look at it or even talk about it? That speaks volumes. That shows their hand.
I agree, but I don't want to end this interview in the few minutes we've got left without you getting into Building 7. And you say in the piece, just watch the video of the collapse, and we have a link to the police and firemen saying, we've been told to get back, they're going to blow it up. BBC reports it's fallen completely in its own footprint. Before it falls, then they said, that video is not real. Then they admitted it was real. Then they said, we lost the tapes. Then they said, okay, Reuters told us it had fallen.
Yeah, they didn't really have their story straight. Or they got the story and then they just rolled it out early. I don't know, but the reason that that is the one point, and it's obviously number 7 because it's Building 7, that's pretty obvious. But the reason that I only gave it one line is, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it reduced to a footnote in the official report? Yeah, so that's, they gave it that much attention, and the attention that we give it in the piece, I think, is really powerful, because it's just like basically saying, Mr. President, just take a look for yourself. You're a really smart guy. You're a really educated man. Just take a look for yourself. You know what? Let's watch it together. And then you tell me, is that the result of from fire?
Charlie, I know you've got to go to work and tape 2.5 Men that's going to be airing Monday, so I'm going to just let you go in just 2 or 3 minutes.
Season premiere on the 21st. Couldn't help but put in a plug, Alex.
Hey, that's a great show. Guys are fans in here.
Thank you.
Especially Jaron. He loves it.
Also, hey, Alex, big shout-out to your whole staff. Guys like Aaron and Kurt and Paul and the guys that just work 22-hour days leading up to this thing, and they just really, really showed who they are and what they're made of and how much they care as well. And these are the guys behind the scenes that don't get the type of attention you and I get, but everybody needs to know how important they were in this whole process and launching 20 Minutes with the President, you know.
Yeah, I always almost give it its code name instead of 20 Minutes with the President.
Yeah, it's tempting. It's tempting, Alex. We'll keep that between us.
Yeah. Charlie, in closing, though, are you disappointed that so far the White House called you and said, look, we've seen it, we might pass on it, which shows they're leaving the door open. I know you're calling people to go out, get involved, go to town halls, go to his press conferences. You're asking, I know you've asked me to ask folks to tell people to go to the press conferences of the president, go to demonstrations. Let's make this a big issue. Let's beat the drum. Speak to that in closing and directly to Obama, because there's no doubt that the White House is watching and seeing this.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope. I mean, I know, like I said, they got their hands full with a lot of other stuff, but they need to know that this really matters. This is it's all laid out in the letter that, how much this has shaped the current policy and why the landscape exists as it does today. And, if they cannot meet with myself and certain family members, they really need to write me a letter and explain why. I wrote them a letter, and they need to explain why, and they need to know that letter will be made public, because it's important that people know how they feel about this. That people know, if they got nothing to hide, then why are they avoiding it?
And let's be clear, it's not just Charlie Sheen meeting with the president. You've said in the emails, I'd like to come with Bob McIlvaine, Bill Doyle, others, and they want to meet with you. They've tried to meet with the commission. Absolutely, yes. Yeah, no, they deserve the time. They deserve the attention. They deserve that our commander-in-chief would take a look at this and would hopefully say, yeah, okay, all right, this is important, this matters, and yes, I do have the power, and I do have the responsibility as your president to use my executive power to enact a real investigation and to put this thing back on the front burner. Put it on the front burner, Mr. President. Enough's enough. So bottom line, you're saying at least publicly respond to the 20 questions, or just respond to 6 of the 10 commission members and 2 of the 5 council members saying it was a fraud, a criminal cover-up. Anything, Alex, just acknowledge it. Just be courageous enough and compassionate enough to acknowledge it. That's all I'm asking. And if we can take it further, great. But just acknowledge it. Stop treating us like we don't matter. All right, Charlie Sheen, he's going to go tape for the 21st of this month, premiere of 2.5 Men. We're going to let him get to work. How are the fires out in Los Angeles? Getting under control? Yeah, no, the fire teams out here did an amazing job getting this stuff put out as quickly as possible. And unfortunately, there were some lives lost, and our hearts go out to their families as well. But the skies are clear, and everything's back to normal. Yeah, it was like a week and a half ago when I was there. It was like flying into hell, and you had ashes raining down in your backyard. Yeah, it was interesting. It created sort of a symbolic climate for creating this peace as we went through it. Charlie, I love you. I love you too, man. And I love your passion, and I love everything you're doing. And it was great seeing your dad and mom when they came over. And say hi to Al, say hi to Lance. I will. Say hi to the whole crew, and God bless you, my friend. God bless you, Alex.